where parallel lines meet. David Carter had always believed life should be predictable. Routine was safety. Every morning, he woke up at 6, made black coffee, watered the tiny fern by his kitchen window, and left for his dental clinic by 7:30. His life was neat, organized down to the minute, like the clean rows of instruments in his office. At 28, David was already one of the most respected young dentists in the city. Tall, slender, and graceful in movement, standing at 1.80 meters. He carried a quiet warmth that made nervous patients trust him easily. But outside of work, his life was quiet. Almost too quiet. No chaos, no surprises, no room for people who lived recklessly. Which was why, if someone had told him that his life would soon be flipped upside down by a wild painter and an even wilder child, David would have laughed. Yet here he was, standing frozen in the cereal aisle of a supermarket. Because a little girl was clutching the back of his coat and crying like her world had ended. David blinked. He looked down. She was tiny, maybe 4 years old, with messy curls, round cheeks, and enormous teary eyes. Her little fingers gripped his shirt tightly. I lost Uncle Tristan, she sobbed. David stiffened. Children were not his specialty. Teeth, yes. Emotions? Somewhat. Tiny crying humans? Absolutely not. He crouched awkwardly. Hey, it's okay. It did not sound okay. His voice came out stiff, almost robotic. The girl cried harder. David panicked, right when he was mentally debating whether calling security would make him look like a kidnapper. Millie! A loud voice cut through the store. Footsteps, fast. Then suddenly a man crashed into view. Tall, very tall. At least 1.92 meters. Broad shoulders, sharp waist, messy dark hair tied loosely behind his neck. Paint stains on his hands and even his shirt. His breathing was uneven. His eyes, gray and stormy, were wild with panic. And beautiful. David immediately hated noticing that. The man dropped to his knees. Millie! The little girl let go of David and launched herself at him. Tristan Hale looked like he'd nearly died. He hugged her tightly. Oh my God, don't do that. Don't ever run off like that. I saw candy, Millie sniffled. Tristan buried his face in her hair. David stood there awkwardly. Tristan looked up and froze. Because now that the panic had passed, he finally noticed the man standing before him. Tall, elegant, calm, pretty in a way that felt unfair. Their eyes met. It felt strange, like staring into a mirror of another world, different in every possible way. You found her, Tristan said. David nodded. She found me. Tristan laughed breathlessly. It was bright, careless. David disliked how warm it sounded. Thank you, Tristan said, standing up. Up close, he was even more striking. His body carried this effortless strength, like someone who climbed rooftops for fun. David guessed he probably did. Millie tugged Tristan's sleeve. Uncle Tristan, he smells nice. David went still. Tristan choked, then laughed. David wanted the ground to swallow him. I'm sorry, Tristan said. She says whatever she thinks. Clearly, Tristan rubbed the back of his neck. I owe you. Let me buy you dinner. No. Coffee? No. At least let me pay you. David adjusted his glasses. I'm not short on money. That made Tristan grin. Straightforward. He liked that. David turned to leave then. Millie grabbed his sleeve again. Her huge, watery eyes stared up at him. Can you help Uncle Tristan babysit me? David stared. What? Tristan looked horrified. Millie, but the girl pouted. He's bad at it. David almost agreed immediately. Tristan sighed. Okay. In my defense, I'm an artist. I work with feelings, not children. David blinked. That explained everything somehow. Still no, David said. He walked away. That should have been the end. It wasn't. Because fate apparently had a sense of humor. That night, David stepped out of the elevator to his apartment floor and found Tristan standing across the hall, unlocking the door. David froze. Tristan froze. Millie gasped dramatically. "It's pretty dentist." David closed his eyes. "No, absolutely not," Tristan grinned slowly. "Well, this is awkward." And that was how the parallel lines began to bend. David had underestimated two things. First, how persistent children could be. Second, how much worse it became when that child had an equally shameless uncle. For 3 straight days, Tristan, Hale, and Millie stationed themselves outside David's dental clinic like they were protesting for human rights. Day 1, they sat on the bench across the street. Millie held a cardboard sign, "Please help US survive." David ignored them. Day 2, Tristan upgraded. Coffee in one hand, Millie in the other, both smiling like they belonged there. David walked past them. Again. Day 3. They were outside his apartment at 7 in the morning. David opened his door and nearly dropped his keys. Tristan leaned against the wall, hair messy, half awake, holding 2 cups of coffee. Millie sat on the floor with crayons. "Morning," Tristan said casually. David stared. "How did you get in?" "Mrs. Green downstairs likes Millie." "Of course she did." David pinched the bridge of his nose. "This is harassment." "It's dedication," Tristan corrected. Millie lifted a drawing. It was 3 stick figures. 1 tall, 1 taller, 1 tiny, and a badly drawn house. "That's us," she said proudly. David blinked. "There is no us." Tristan crouched beside Millie. Ouch. David shut the door, but he could still hear Millie outside. "Uncle Tristan, did we lose?" "Not yet." And somehow, that made David smile. That was dangerous. But every time he looked at the clock, he thought of the 2 disasters waiting outside. At 6 in the evening when he stepped out. Tristan looked exhausted, paint smeared on his cheek. David frowned. "You stayed here all day?" Tristan looked up. "You didn't say no today." "That's insane." Tristan shrugged. "I had hope." David looked at Millie. Her little face was red from the heat. He sighed, deeply, against his better judgment. "What exactly do you need?" Tristan's eyes lit up. "Victory. Her parents are gone for 3 more weeks," he said. "I have deadlines, gallery work, commissions. I can't leave her alone." "Daycare?" "She hates daycare." Millie woke up immediately. "I bite." David stared. Tristan nodded. "She does." David exhaled. "I am a dentist." "Yes." "Not a babysitter." "Yes." "Not your babysitter." Tristan smiled. "Still yes." David should have walked away. Instead, he heard himself ask, "How old is she?" 4. "What does she eat?" "Everything except vegetables." "Vaccinations?" "Done." "Any allergies?" "Strawberries." Tristan's grin widened. David realized too late. He'd already lost. The arrangement was simple. David would watch Millie in the evenings while Tristan worked. Only evenings, nothing more, nothing personal. That was the rule. The first evening, Tristan brought Millie over with a backpack, crayons, stuffed animals, and enough snacks to survive a natural disaster. David stared. "She's staying 3 hours." Tristan shrugged. "She packs emotionally." At work, David tried to straight into David's apartment cleaning like she owned it. Checking x-rays. Within 10 minutes, fixing cavities. She found his books. Within 20, she found his couch. Within 30, she was asleep against his side while he read. David stared down at her. They were still there, Millie asleep against Tristan's shoulder, trusting. His chest tightened strangely. Then Tristan returned and stopped at the doorway. David looked up. Tristan was staring. "What?" Tristan smiled softly. "Nothing." But his voice was quieter this time, different, like something in him had paused. David looked away. He didn't like the feeling that came with that look. Days became routine. Millie at David's, Tristan dropping by, sometimes staying for dinner. sometimes talking too much, sometimes painting on David's balcony while David worked on patient notes. They were opposites. David liked silence. Tristan filled it. David planned everything. Tristan lived by instinct. David liked order. Tristan left paint on everything, and somehow it worked. One night, David watched Tristan paint. Wild strokes, bold colors, messy, violent, alive. "Your paintings feel loud," David said. Tristan laughed. "Is that because I don't know how to be quiet?" David looked at him. He already knew that. Tristan glanced back. "And you?" David frowned. "What about me?" Tristan smiled. "You feel quiet." David didn't answer, because quiet had always protected him. But lately, around Tristan, it felt less like safety and more like loneliness. That night, as Tristan left Millie half asleep in his arms, she mumbled, "Uncle Tristan likes David." David froze. Tristan nearly walked into the wall. "Go to sleep," Tristan muttered. Millie smiled. David stood at the doorway long after they left, for the first time in years. His perfectly ordered life felt unstable, and he wasn't sure if he hated it or wanted more. David had rules. Rule number 1, keep work and personal life separate. Rule number 2, never let emotions complicate things. Rule number 3, never fall for someone impossible. And Tristan Hale was impossible. Too loud, too reckless, too unpredictable. Everything David avoided. Yet somehow, Tristan kept slipping into his life like paint seeping into white fabric, slowly staining everything. And David was starting to notice that was the problem. It started with an invitation. "A gallery opening," Tristan said one evening while picking up Millie. "Come with me." David didn't even look up from his paperwork. "No." "Why?" "I don't enjoy crowds." "It's not crowded." "It will be." Tristan leaned against the table. "You take care of people all day. When do you take care of yourself?" David paused. That question irritated him, because he didn't have an answer. Millie looked up from her coloring book. "Go, David." David sighed. Why did everyone in this family gang up on him? He went against his better judgment. The gallery was everything Tristan was. Chaotic, bold, alive. Huge canvases exploded with color, sharp lines colliding violently like storms trapped in frames. David stared. He understood Tristan better now. Every piece screamed freedom, fear, longing, things Tristan never said aloud. People crowded around him, praising his work. Tristan smiled politely, but David noticed it. That smile wasn't real. It was practiced, detached. Like Tristan was there, but not truly. Then a woman approached, beautiful, confident. She kissed Tristan's cheek. "Missed me?" David felt something unpleasant twist in his stomach. Tristan laughed awkwardly. Before he could explain, another man appeared, then another, all familiar, all comfortable touching Tristan. David stepped back. He suddenly felt stupid for coming. Tristan caught it immediately. "David, I should go." "Wait." But David was already leaving. Next day, Tristan showed up at David's clinic. Alone, no Millie. That was new. David frowned. "Where's Millie?" "With my sister." Tristan crossed his arms. "You're avoiding me. I'm working. You left without letting me explain." David looked up. "Explain what?" Tristan hesitated. "That they're old friends." David gave a humorless smile. "Friends?" Tristan frowned. "That sounds like judgment." David stood. For the first time, his calm cracked. "I don't care who you sleep with." The lie burned on the way out. Tristan stared, then stepped closer. "But you do." David looked away. That was enough of an answer. 3 days later, Tristan dragged him onto a rooftop. Literally, "This is illegal," David said. Tristan laughed. "That's what makes it fun." The city stretched below them, glowing gold and silver. Wind moved through Tristan's hair. He looked free up here, like he belonged nowhere and everywhere. David hated how beautiful that was. Tristan handed him a paintbrush. David frowned. "I don't paint." "Then start." David looked at the blank canvas. Clean, perfect, untouched. Tristan dipped his own brush into black paint and slashed a line across it. David flinched. "Why would you ruin it?" Tristan smiled. "Because perfection is boring." David stared at him. Tristan's eyes softened. "You live like everything has to be controlled." David said nothing. Tristan stepped closer. "So, what are you afraid of?" David's heartbeat stumbled because Tristan was too close, too warm, too real. "I'm not afraid," Tristan smiled sadly. "That's not true." For a moment, neither of them moved. The air shifted, heavy, intimate. David could hear his own breathing. Tristan's eyes dropped to his mouth. And David knew if he stayed still, Tristan would kiss him, and he wanted it. God, he wanted it, but then, "Uncle Tristan!" Millie's voice echoed from below. Both of them jumped apart. Tristan groaned. David laughed, actually laughed, bright and real. Tristan stared at him, like that laugh was rarer than art. And in that moment, David understood something terrifying. He was already falling. Hard. And Tristan was no longer impossible, he was inevitable. Things changed after the rooftop. Subtly, dangerously. David noticed it in the way Tristan looked at him longer now, in the way their hands brushed and neither pulled away immediately, in the way silence between them no longer felt empty. It felt full, waiting. Even Millie noticed. One afternoon while David was helping her build a puzzle, she tilted her head and asked, "Are you going to marry Uncle Tristan?" David nearly dropped the puzzle piece. "What?" Millie blinked innocently. "You look at him weird." David pinched the bridge of his nose. Children were terrifying. Across the room, Tristan laughed so hard he almost spilled paint over the floor. David glared at him, but Tristan only smiled. That smile again. Warm. Soft. Dangerous. A week later, Tristan invited David to dinner. Just the two of them. No Millie. David understood what that meant. He spent too long deciding what shirt to wear. He hated himself for that. The restaurant was small, quiet. For once, Tristan wasn't loud. He looked nervous. David found that strangely comforting. They talked about childhood, dreams, failures. David learned Tristan had left home at 19 to study art, that he had almost dropped out, that he'd worked dozens of jobs just to survive. And Tristan learned David had spent most of his life trying to be perfect because it was the only way to earn praise. They were different, but somehow their loneliness felt similar. When dinner ended, neither wanted to leave, so they walked. The streets were empty, city lights reflecting on wet pavement. At some point, Tristan's hand brushed against David's, and this time David didn't move away. Tristan stopped walking. David stopped too. Their eyes met. This was it. The moment. The almost confession. Then, "Tristan?" A voice interrupted. Three men stood near the corner, stylish, confident. One of them smirked. "Well, look at you." David recognized them. The people from the gallery. One of them glanced at David. "Oh, new one?" David froze. Tristan's expression darkened. "Shut up." The man laughed. "Come on, don't act serious now. You used to tell everyone you loved them." Another added, "Yeah, Tristan was impossible to reject. If someone wanted him, he'd just say yes." David felt cold. The words landed like knives. Tristan stepped forward. Enough. But the damage was done. David smiled politely, said goodnight, and left. He avoided Tristan for 2 days. No texts, no calls, no opening the door. Until Tristan showed up anyway with Millie knocked. David opened the door. And there Tristan stood, looking tired. "Talk to me." David looked at Millie, then at him. "No." Tristan frowned. "David, was it true?" Silence. That silence answered enough. David's chest tightened. "You told people you loved them?" Tristan swallowed. "It wasn't like that." David laughed quietly. "But it happened." Tristan stepped closer. It was complicated. David's voice stayed calm. Too calm. The kind of calm that meant pain had settled deep. I don't do complicated. Tristan's face fell. David looked at Millie. Knelt down, his hand gently fixed her messy hair. You have to be good, okay? Millie blinked. Why? David smiled, but it hurt. Because Uncle Tristan needs you. Millie's lips trembled. You're leaving? David stood. He couldn't look at Tristan. I think it's better if we stop. Tristan went pale. Stop what? David finally looked at him. Us. Even if neither had said it yet. I can't be another person you say love to. Tristan's eyes widened, but David was already closing the door. And for the first time in weeks, the apartment felt unbearably empty. That night, rain hit the windows hard. David couldn't sleep. At 2:17 a.m., his phone rang. Tristan. He almost ignored it. Then answered, his voice was shaking. David, it's Millie. Everything inside him dropped. She has a fever. She won't wake up properly. David was already grabbing his coat. I'm coming. Because no matter what happened between them, Millie mattered, and Tristan still did too. That was the problem. David had never driven that fast before. By the time he reached Tristan's apartment, Tristan was already outside, carrying Millie in his arms. Her face was pale, too pale. David's heart clenched. What happened? She had a fever after dinner, Tristan said, voice trembling. I thought it would pass, but then she got weaker. Hospital, now. No hesitation, no distance, just urgency. The emergency room smelled sterile, sharp, familiar. David hated being on this side of it. Millie was taken in immediately. The doctors checked her and blood tests, observation, nothing life-threatening, but the waiting was unbearable. David sat forward in the plastic chair, elbows on his knees, hands clasped tight. For the first time in years, he looked shaken. Tristan watched him quietly. You care about her a lot. David didn't answer. Because of course he did. Millie had somehow forced her way into his heart like sunlight through a crack. And Tristan had come with her. David hated that. Tristan moved closer, gently, carefully, then wrapped his arms around David. At first, David froze. The warmth was familiar, comforting. Too comforting. Tristan whispered, she'll be okay. And for 1 weak second, David almost leaned into it. Then he pushed him away. Hard. Tristan stumbled. David stood. His voice was low. Don't. Tristan looked hurt but said nothing, because he understood. This wasn't about anger. It was fear. And fear always made David colder. Morning came slowly. The doctor confirmed Millie had a bad viral infection, but she was stable now. She'd recover. David finally breathed. Only then did exhaustion hit. He stepped out into the hospital hallway. Quiet. Pale sunlight filtering through glass. He needed air. Needed space. But before he could leave, a hand caught his wrist. Warm. Firm. Tristan. Please. David didn't look at him. I don't think there's anything left to say. There is. His voice cracked, and that made David turn, because Tristan Hale never sounded fragile. Not until now. Talk, David said. Tristan took a breath. Long. Heavy. Then, when I was younger, I had a problem. David stayed silent. Tristan laughed bitterly. Not drugs, not alcohol. Worse. He looked away. I couldn't say no. David frowned. Tristan continued. Not because I wanted attention. Not because I wanted love. His jaw tightened. It was because I was terrified of disappointing people. David blinked. Tristan swallowed. My father was impossible to please. Growing up, everything I did was wrong. If I wanted peace, I had to make everyone happy. His voice shook now. So I learned early it was easier to agree, easier to give people what they wanted. David listened, still, careful. In college, it got worse. Friends wanted affection, attention, sometimes more, and I gave it. He looked at David. I felt nothing. David's chest tightened. He laughed again, empty. They called me charming. Easy. But truthfully, Tristan stepped closer. I said I love you because people wanted to hear it. Because saying no made me panic. His eyes were red. It became a habit, a shield. David finally understood. Not cruelty, not carelessness, survival. A broken way of surviving. Tristan's voice softened. But then I met you. Silence. You say no. A tiny smile. All the time. David almost scoffed. Tristan continued. You don't bend for people. You don't perform. You're honest. Steady. And for the first time, I wanted to be honest too. His eyes locked onto David's. You were the first person I was afraid to lie to. David felt his defenses cracking. Slowly, painfully, Tristan stepped closer again. No touching this time, just truth. I don't love easily. His voice dropped. In fact, I don't think I ever really did. David's breath caught. Until you. The words landed quietly. No performance, no charm, just raw, real. And David could tell. This time, it was true. David looked down, then back at him. You hurt me. I know. I thought I was just another name. Tristan shook his head immediately. You never were. David stared at him for a long time, measuring, feeling. Trust was not easy for him, but love apparently had arrived anyway, quietly, without permission. So David did the scariest thing of all. He reached for Tristan's hand and held it. Tristan went still, eyes wide. David's voice was soft. You're difficult. Tristan laughed through tears. You like difficult, David sighed. Unfortunately. Then Tristan kissed him. Slow, careful, like holding something fragile, and David kissed him back. Because some parallel lines, if they fought hard enough, could bend toward each other. 3 months later, they moved in together. David complained about paint on the furniture. Tristan complained about David labeling everything in the fridge. They fought over dishes, over blankets, over who loved who more. Millie returned home after her parents came back from vacation, but she visited often. Usually unannounced, usually loud. One afternoon, she walked into their apartment, saw Tristan painting while David read beside him, and gasped dramatically. You're married now? David choked on his tea. Tristan laughed. Not yet. Millie smiled. Soon. David rolled his eyes, but Tristan leaned over and kissed his cheek. And for once, David didn't mind the chaos, because sometimes the most unexpected love was the one that stayed. The end. Thank you for listening to the whole story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's the motivation that keeps me making more videos.